Founded in 2014, the Extraordinary Achievers' vision is to empower others to be the best version of themselves. The show is hosted by Chief Lady Waynette Peters, a multi-entrepreneur, empowerment speaker, confidence mentor, positive lifestyle coach, humanitarian ambassador, and a TV host. Lady Waynette is a holder of over 35 international awards for her humanitarian, philanthropic, and international empowerment contributions and holds 2 chieftaincy titles. Welcome to the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Oh, welcome back to the Extraordinary Achievers TV show. And boy, am I excited today because we have some exciting guests. And I'm just excited because I'm grateful for life and I'm grateful for you joining us. So if you're watching us on live or on replay, thank you for tuning in to another amazing Wednesday. And I would like to say welcome to our YouTube viewers, our Twitter viewers, our LinkedIn viewers, the various Facebook platforms that we air live on, over 50 of them. Thank you to all those admins that allow us to air on their pages live. Those from Meetup and to our live TV website viewers, we would like to say thank you. And if you haven't shared this program with anyone yet, this is the time to share it on another Facebook platform, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or on Meetup. Please share, because someone out there needs to hear what these coaches have taken their precious time to share with us today. So from our live TV website viewers, we would like to say thank you for tuning in and for subscribing.
The Extraordinary Achievers Show covers topics ranging from mindfulness, awareness, self-development and empowerment, true stories and community interests and affairs, interviewing industry experts and individuals either that have overcome adversity or share knowledge to that which creates awareness. We work in collaboration and in harmony with other community enhancement organizations.
Today, we are talking about the principle and value of time, exploring the discipline of self-management and our mindset. In other words, we are going to be looking at the power of self-discipline. How well are we managing it and what else can we do? You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That's a quotation by Marcus that I so very like, and I will say it again. It says, you have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Now, I'm going to go over to say hello to some of our guests that join us from home, from work, from wherever you are. If you've just joined us for the first time, we would like to say welcome to the Extraordinary Achievers Show. And if you've joined us before, we would like to say thank you for your continued support. So, Anjik says good evening and good evening to you. And thank you for joining us again. Norma Ellie says good evening, one and all, and good evening to you. Amjad says, hi, Waynette. Hope it's good and more fantastic, useful. Thank you so much for joining us from Pakistan. We welcome you. Sophia Lumbra says good evening and good evening to you too. And Amjad, thank you for your compliment. I appreciate you. Thank you. And we have Mr. Bamikole Roberts, who is doing amazingly well in the community with the youth projects. We welcome you on to the Extraordinary Achievers Show. Patrick T says, hello everyone. And Patrick T, nice to have you. Looking forward to your comments as usual. And Mr. Bamikole Roberts, we know you have some programs coming up. So if you can share them on our platform and send us some links, we will be grateful. And Sophia Lambre, hey baby doll, Barbie doll, she says she's tuned in with Joyce and Alex. And Joyce and Alex, love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And Christine Young says, good evening. Hey, That's nice to see you on the show. And that is a woman I have great love for. I can say that in a million ways and one. Um, Recently, Christine had a stroke, and you would not believe the resilience that Christine Young has got. Within a matter of 3 weeks, she was up and she was walking and she was about. So inspiring. Love you so much, Christine, in more ways than one. Thank you for tuning in. Please do share your comments. Do ask the guests questions. They are here to coach us today, and they've taken time out to do so. So please, let's fire them with the questions as much as we can. Today, broken down in different ways, we are looking at the characteristics of self-discipline, being acceptance, willpower, hard work, industry, and persistence. And this is what we are going to hear from our guest that we have. So let's introduce you to Coach Mimi Bland, a transformational mind coach and mentor and author of The Answer Is You. Coach Mimi, welcome onto the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Hello, good evening, Lady Lynette, and thank you so much for the invitation to speak this evening.
Thank you for your lovely self coming to join us. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's also introduce you to Dr. Alisa Schwartz-White, the president and the CEO of Fulfillment Empowerment Network, LLC. Dr. Alisa, welcome on to the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Hello, good evening to all the viewers, Lady Lynette. It's such an awesome privilege to be here with you, and I'm excited for us to dig in and have some fun around this subject area, learn some more things and expand our mindset and our growth process. Thank you.
Awesome. Dr. Alisa, can you tell our viewers where you are tuning in from?
I am tuning in from the United States. Arizona is my home state currently. And so it's wonderful to be able to connect like this and be able to just share time with you. It's 12 p.m. in the afternoon on Wednesday. So sometimes that could be confusing, but it's so much fun. I have fun trying to figure out time zones.
Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us from Arizona, and we will be back with you shortly. We would also like to introduce you to the Coach Taya Garrick, a public presenter, a motivational and inspirational speaker, and a life coach. Coach Garrick, welcome onto the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Thank you, Lady Lynette. Thank you for bringing me on board. Good evening, viewers. It's a great pleasure to be with you tonight. Thank you so much. Look forward to having a very beautiful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Garrick. Thank you for taking time out. We appreciate you, and we're looking forward to hearing some more from you shortly. There is a quotation by me, that I like, and my quotation says, "Life is not short. What we do with it depends on how much time we have." Life is not short. What we do with it depends on how much time we have. I wrote this quotation for myself. The reason being that I was fed up with people telling me that time is short. And if you know me very well, if you tell me time is short, I say time is short for you, not for me. Because it depends on what we're going to do with that time that makes it how long do we really have. There's another quotation that I wrote which says, "Time is the fundamental nature of our prayers." And that's what I truly believe. After we talk about time, let's have a listen to a poem that I wrote, Time and Choice.
We have a choice of how we spend our time. We should never choose to waste the time of others. Choose not to waste your time. Choose not to have your time wasted. Choose not to waste someone else's time. Choose to respect and value time. Choose to make time purposeful. Life is not short. How we spend it determines how much time we have.
Thank you for listening to one of my poems. I'm not a singer, and I recently thought about actually recording my poems and as a way of expressing my writing. Many people often say, why don't you sing? I said, well, the singing has been given to others, not to me, but I have been expressing my poems and I appreciate you listening to my poems. I'd like to say hello to a couple of our viewers that we have, and then we're going to go over and introduce you to Coach Mimi Bland, and we're going to ask her the first question. Samuel Dinsey, my friend of over 30 years, everyone knows this now. Good evening to you. Good evening, Sam, and welcome on to Extraordinary Achievers, and kisses and hugs to your daughters for me. And Heather says, good evening, and thank you for the compliment, and good evening to you. And we welcome you back on the Extraordinary Achievers show. Now, moving swiftly to Coach Mimi Bland, who is an incredible transformational mindset coach and a mentor with over 43,000 followers. During her life, Coach Mimi has been faced with several challenges to overcome, both mentally and emotionally. Mimi has a gift of being able to identify and see the true inner qualities of people, which allows her to connect both spiritually and vibrationally with them to complement their personal mindset and achieve life-changing transformations. She is an international best-selling author of The Answer Is You, the formula to master your mind and emotions. And once again, Coach Mimi Bland, thank you for joining us on the Extraordinary Achievers Show. I am so excited. I am. Thank you. I'm so excited on having you on the show. Coach Mimi, what is self-discipline and why is self-discipline important to us? What is self-discipline?
Yeah, self-discipline, I think it's really important because it enables us to fulfill our greatest potential. You know, it enables us to live our lives according to how we choose and want to live them as well. Otherwise, we're constantly being, we live our life by our past emotions and by past experiences. So by developing self-awareness and self-discipline, it actually helps to attain our desired outcomes. So it's very important to have that so that it can then help you to attain where you're going. So rather than living in the past, it helps you to stay living in the now and helps you to create your greatest desires that you want in life.
Thank you, Coach Mimi. Coach Mimi, how should we equate the value of time? When we say time is of essence and is valuable, what really are we saying or acknowledging?
Yeah, I mean, the time, I mean, every day we're given 24 hours to create our lives with, and we get to choose, you know, what we want in our lives. So we get to design and create and live the life experiences that we decide that we want to experience. And this moment in time is all we have. As we know, the past is gone, the future isn't here yet. So all our power is in the now. So we have, you know, with that 24 hours, we get to choose what we do with it. We can either waste it or we can enable that time to move us towards attaining the life that we want to attain. So it's down to us what we do with that time. Like I said, we're given 24 hours every single day. We can either utilize that time to create the future we want to live, or we can just waste that time and it's just another 24 hours that's wasted.
Another 24 hours just wasted, or we can make use of that 24 hours. Coach Mimi, we thank you, and we will be back with you once again shortly for our next question. But thank you for kicking off the show today. If you are watching me on my personal page, Wayne Peters page, and I would urge you to please join us on the Extraordinary Achievers page. If you would like to share some comments or ask any questions. We are not airing live on Wayne Peters page today. We are sharing from the Extraordinary Achievers page onto my personal page. So for those that normally comment on my personal page, please go over to the Extraordinary Achievers page, Facebook page, and you can comment from there. If you're on YouTube, we can see your comments and we welcome your comments. And if you are on Twitter, and all other platforms. We apologize that we cannot see your comments from there live. We will be able to see them after the show. Either way, thank you for joining us. Coach Taye Garrick is the next guest that we're going to be asking questions from. Coach Taye is an experienced public administrator with over 15 years experience working with social governments in the public sector and providing consultancy in the private sector. He is accomplished at project management, infrastructural development, public works and administrative management, community development, property investment and development with a great passion for public speaking and motivational coaching. He possesses a very strong analytical mind and is resourceful and able to work with his own initiative or as a team player with great attention to detail. Coach Garrick also leads at the Hilltop Evangelical Center, HEC, a non-denominational platform where he reaches out to the brokenhearted. His vision is to spend the remainder of his life helping the needy and all those who are lost in rediscovering themselves and undergoing a personal transformation. Coach Taye Garrick, we once again welcome you back on the Extraordinary Achievers Show, and we thank you for having to have taken time out to spend some wisdom, experience, and nuggets with us this evening. Coach Garrick, our first question is going to be the same as we asked our first coach. What is self-discipline in your words, and why is self-discipline important?
Thank you very much, Lily. The center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. It's the ability to have your goal in mind and pursue your plans. And despite the difficulties and the temptations to abandon them, you continue to strive to achieve that goal. So self-discipline is about being in command of your mind and being able to choose actions that are in your best interest. For me, I say self-discipline is about self-love. That's what I've always read about and I've always worked towards. That is about self-love. And self-love is about prioritizing the decisions that you take that will be to your best interest. For example, I personally, I love to eat rice a lot. And I've had to confront self-discipline in that area because eating right makes me to put on more weight, and my doctors are not really happy about that. And at times when I want to eat rice, I have to pick up and tell myself, no, you don't need to do this because you need to be healthy. You don't need to put in too much weight. So self-discipline is something that makes you happy. It makes you feel better with yourself. It gives you a purpose, and it gives you a happy life. Because when you are able to accomplish your goals by being disciplined, then you are able to accomplish much more in life.
Thank you, Coach. Coach, we're going to ask you the same question as well. How should we equate the value of time? When we say time is of essence and is valuable, what are we really saying and what are we acknowledging? What does it mean to say time is of the essence?
Not all uses of time is equal, and the simple truth is that this makes a big difference in people's life. And at times we spend more time doing more work for money. Sometimes we spend our time in building relationship with others. At times we spend our time building our careers or in contributing to society. But the impact, the end product of it all is how we spend our time and we value our time. For example, when you say time is of the essence, you're actually looking at meeting up to setting obligation, that setting time, reasonable time, where if 2 or 3 people have agreed on a particular situation or transaction, for example, or a time to be met, that time has to be met within reasonable time. So when you are looking at time management or looking at it from the angle of time is of essence of value. It's about being able to prioritize and to put in prioritize so that you achieve the best in the goals that you have set out or the vision that you have created for yourself. So when you're able to have value for time, in having value for your time, you need to be able to understand that not all things you can do at the same time. For example, we have different dreams, we have different visions, we have so many things we want to accomplish, but we need to prioritize which of these things do we want to get done first. So, and also we have to also know that time they say is money, and we can get money back if we lose it, but you can't get time back. So if you lose your time, then you've lost a great value. So time for me is of the essence that we must always strive to prioritize and to always set goals and focus to achieve what we have set out to do. And this has to do with discipline, because when we discipline ourselves, we're able to manage our time properly.
Thank you, Coach Gary, for answering that question for us. Coach, we are going to go over and say hello and acknowledge some more comments that we have from our viewers at home or from work, wherever they're at. We acknowledge them today, and thank you for your comments. Bangi says, good to be back to this amazing show and good to have you back. Thank you. Louisa Artie from Louisa Favors and Louisa Creations, my bestie, says good evening, dearest, and good evening, hon. I'm always laughing with this woman. And you know, earlier we were on the phone and she said bye. I said bye. She said I said bye. I said bye too. My hands are wet. Put the phone down, Louisa. We took about 5 minutes to put the phone down. I love her to bits. Vivian Hill says good evening all and host, and good evening to you, Vivian, and thank you for joining us on the Extraordinary Achievers show today. Jean Hill says good evening all and host, and good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. And Vicky Gabi says, hello, check you out on the other side. I know that's our topic on amazing show. Vicky, it is amazing to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being awesome and super amazing as always. Norma Ellis says, discipline is molding and correcting self. That's right. And Norma Ellis is an author and an amazing podcaster. Doreen says, self-discipline, give a happy life. Thanks, sir. And that's in acknowledgement, Coach Gary. Thank you, Doreen, for joining us. Vicky says, time is a measurement. How so true, Vicky? Absolutely. Sir Kay Kola Adene says, hello, everyone. Sir Kay from A Sound Mind. Kola Adene says, hello. And if you have not checked out My Sound Mind on Facebook, this is the time for you to do so. They're doing some amazing work. And as I always tell you every week, that they're feeding others that are going through adversity. Great work that Sir Kay Kola Adene is doing. We have a question, but before we look at this question, we are going to introduce you to Ambassador Professor Dr. Alyssa White, who is the dynamic, trailblazing founder and president and CEO of Fulfillment Empowerment Network and the vice president of Save the Girl Child Advocacy Africa. Alyssa is a transformational leader and a mindset coach, an international speaker and a trainer, certified by the John Maxwell King. Additionally, Alyssa is an ambassador of Peace for Humanity and a global professor of humanities, leadership and management at International Internship University. Dr. Alyssa White is passionate about serving and is passionate about leadership and helping individuals live authentically in their purpose. Alyssa's personal mission is to help individuals overcome self-limiting beliefs, discover their purpose, and improve their relationships and lead a life of fulfillment. Dr. White says that at the core of her work, she aims to inspire women and young girls to transform their lives by healing from their past hurts and renew their mindsets and lead in their personal and professional lives. Dr. Alyssa was awarded the coveted Global Woman of Choice Award for peak performance in business and leadership. In addition, Alyssa won another global award with the title Businesswoman of the Year 2021 And in April 2021, Alisa earned the title of #1 international best-selling author for her collaborative work with the book I Am: How to Release the Shame of Narcissistic Abuse and Transform Financial Poverty and Wealth Beyond Numbers. I could go on and on and on, but I'll stop right there. And today, Dr. White is giving away some free gifts. He's giving away some 5 transformative ways to help discover and live your life's purpose. But we will talk about that later. Doctor, we have a question, and we are going to hot seat you with this question from one of our viewers, and the question will come up on our screen. Jean Hill asked the question: would the speaker agree that discipline is important because, like any system, it needs repetition, more repetition, and more repetition?
Absolutely. I agree that self-discipline is you have to become in the practice of disciplining yourself and achieving what it is that you intend to achieve, not just in one area, but in your full, complete life. And so you can't, I feel, for me personally, I'm constantly looking at my systems. I feel like we know that when Apple created the iPhone, it's a system with software and layers of different operatives that they put together to make that little iPhone. And if we drop it in water, it malfunctions, right? So just like that, I believe as an individual, as we get into certain phases of our life, the iPhone doesn't last us forever, but neither does our life. So we have to tune that system that we might have created in our self-discipline process. And I can't say enough about that you have to constantly be in the practice and fine-tuning it.
Thank you, Doctor. And that was an amazing response to Ms. Hill's question. And we hope you're satisfied with that one. If there are any more questions, fire them through and we will ask our guest today. Doctor, in general, how can we self-assess if we have a good standard of self-discipline and time management?
So self-discipline, for me, I define it as simply the ability to do things that you don't feel like doing. A lot of us get confused with being self-motivated and with having the concept and the practice of self-discipline. And so while you can sit and be like so motivated about all the things you want, even writing them down and making a vision board and blah, 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 it's important. How do you know when your practice is not only if you're in practice, but if your practice is effective, is are you truly feeling comfortable within yourself and where you want to be? And I always say a lot in my programs and in my trainings that the first key in any step is to understanding who you truly are and what you truly value, and then define your purpose, which we talk a lot about on the Extraordinary Achievers show. Is that it's about purpose. So once you know that, now your plans are more, it's realistic, it's specific. You're making smart goals. You're not just disciplined about whatever. You can only really truly be self-disciplined when you're in track with who you are and why you're here and what you're supposed to be doing. So once you get that in line, you now have a measure of, okay, am I truly achieving my goals? And when you look at that, that tells you whether or not you are really in the right process of self-discipline that's for you. And it's not only about achieving your goals, but how do you feel? Are you satisfied? Do you have that sense of ease and fulfillment? Because a lot of us have that sense of conflict in our lives sometimes, because those who have high levels of self-control have found that their lives are happier, and those with low levels, not so much fulfilled. So that is one of, I think, the major measure of knowing whether or not you're living a life that has a full and proper and effective self-discipline process for you.
That's so eloquently said, and I thank you, Doctor. Doctor, we will be back with you shortly. We are going to go back to Coach Mimi Bland, the transformational mindset coach and mentor, and the author of The Answer Is You. Coach Mimi, The Answer Is You. Tell us a little bit about the book, The Answer Is You.
Well, I wrote the book because obviously, our thoughts create our reality. And we are the sole creators of every life experience that we experience. And I wrote the book. It was a very small book because I love the analogy, keep it simple, stupid. There's so many terminologies. There's so many, we're bombarded with so many different therapies and things. And I just wanted to teach people that, everything comes from our thoughts and our feelings. And when we understand how we create our reality, and when we understand how we keep perpetuating the same life experiences, then we can go in and we can make those changes. But we have to develop awareness. We have to develop awareness of who we are. We're constantly living our lives from our past experiences, and it's becoming aware of how we think, how we feel, our emotions and our behaviors that are dictated, and we're just living like robots every day. So when we can become aware of ourselves, then we can change the program, and then we can then put in a program that is in alignment to where we're actually going and what we actually want to achieve in our life. And that is regardless of where you are in life at the moment. If it's a health issue, if it's a relationship issue, we are creating all of it, and everyone and everything is just a reflection. They're reflecting back to us what we're holding internally inside of ourselves.
Thank you, Coach Shamimi Bland. Coach, we have a question, so we are going to pose this question to you. And the question is from Heather, and it reads, how do you realize the value of time? What are the basic logics? How do you realize the basic logics of the value of a time?
Well, for me, so for me, time is, it's everything. We only have this moment in time. So at the end of the day, we're all of us live mainly in the past, or we're living projecting into the future. And right now, at this moment, this is where all our power is. So right at this moment, that's why we have to learn to develop awareness, because in this moment, we have the ability to transform and change any circumstance that we don't want, and we can then put in any desire that we do want to achieve. So time is very important, because like I said earlier, you can either use that time to enable you to achieve the things that you want and the life that you want to live, or it's just wasted time. And every day, all you're doing is going around that hamster wheel, perpetuating and living the same life experiences, repeating the same relationship issues, repeating the same life, events and circumstances. So time is very important for you to be able to achieve everything that you want to achieve in life. And also, time is, we never get time back. It's once it's gone, it's gone. And we have to understand we only live one time. We only have one lifetime to live. So let's make it a joyful life experience, and let's create the life that you actually want to live while you're here.
We only have one life to live, and we have to make the most of it. Thank you, Coach, for saying that, because most times, I think sometimes people forget that we only have one life. It's like, sometimes I feel that others think we're just doing a rehearsal, and that is that. We are going to read some comments that are coming from others at home. So let's read them, and then Coach Yumi Bland, we will be back to you after reading these comments. Norma Ellis says, amen, thoughts and feelings is our own personal creation. Podcaster and author Norma Ellis, thank you for your contribution. And podcaster and author Norma Ellis goes on to say, fine-tuning and resetting. Absolutely. Doc, hello. Dr. Sampson, our former guest on the Extraordinary Achievers, says, good PM and blessings, and great to have you on the show. Thank you so much. We miss you. Melissa says, happy to be back on this amazing topic, and we are so super glad to have you and your awesome self back. So Kay says, the possession of self-discipline enables you to choose and then perceive with actions, thoughts, and behavior, which leads to improvement and success. So, and persevere. And thank you, Sakay, for that comment. We will read some more of your comments coming up back shortly. We are going to go back to Coach Mimi Bland and ask Coach Mimi, what are the benefits of time management. As we were talking about time, Coach Mimi, what are the benefits of time, the effectiveness of time management?
Well, time management, it stops you from feeling overwhelmed with responsibilities. It also increases your productivity, and it also enables you to do the things that you want in your life and in your personal life. So with time management, you know that you can then start segmenting what's important to you. So because most of the time when we have a business or when we're working, we forget the most important things in life that bring us the greatest joy, and that's what we're here for. We're born to live a joyful life experience. So that means factoring in time to spend time with your family, to spend time on your goals or on the things that uplift you, like if it's walking in nature or bike riding or painting. So time management is so important because it enables you to then segment the time accordingly so that you can have time at work and be productive. You can have time with your family and be fully present while you're there as well. So you're not thinking about work, or you're fully present with your children, you're fully present with your partner, and you can engage in the things that really bring you happiness as well, because we're not here just to earn money. We're here, like I said, to live a joyful life experience. So enabling you to really sort of like segment so that you can achieve all that you want to in life in a specific in a specific way, really.
Thank you, Coach Mimi Bland. We have a question for you from one of our viewers, and the question is coming up on our screens. And Jean Hill asked the question: Is that time is important, but whether we need to be able to learn lessons from the past before we can move forward? Do we need to have learned our lessons from the past, assess our what's happened in the past before we can move forward to better manage our time?
I don't think it's so much about, I think, the only time we need to look back, I think the majority of us spend our whole life looking back. That's why we get stuck. But we can only use the past to determine really how far we've come today. And the past is only really, the only time we ever need to go back is if we're having a problem moving forward. So if you have a program that's not working for you, it's because that you have a belief, or you have, you're holding on to something from the past that's stopping you from moving forward. So the only time I would say you need to go back and clean up the past or address the past if it's stopping you from attaining the things that you want in this future. But if you haven't got a problem in certain areas, that means you've got a program that's working for you and not against you. But if you have, then you can just start. I mean, most of the time, your life experiences will be reflected back to you through other people that you meet. So if you meet someone and you're feeling a trigger when they're speaking, it's because what they're saying is resonating inside of you. They are projecting a belief that you're holding about yourself. So every person is always giving you the ability to see what you're still holding on to from the past. So I don't believe you need to go back and address the past. You just need to clean up the emotion that you have embedded inside of you that is still continually perpetuating the situations that you no longer want to experience and live.
Thank you, Coach Mimi Bland. If you joined us halfway through, we've been listening to Coach Mimi Bland, who's an incredible transformational mindset coach and a mentor with over 43,000 followers. During her life, Coach Mimi has been faced with several challenges to overcome, both mentally and emotionally. So today, she brings us expertise and experience from grassroots. Coach, we thank you for being with us, and we'll be back with you shortly with another question. In the meantime, we are swiftly going to move back on to Coach Taya Garrick. Coach Taya Garrick, can you please tell us, how do you help others in your organization of coaching before we go on to your ministry? How do you assist others in coaching?
Well, one of the things that I do with helping people is to help them with transforming their mind, because I come from a position of having experienced pain, having experienced near-death experience. I come from a position where I've almost, I came out from depression, from the fear of death, from overcoming the burden that I failed. And so I realized that one of the things to helping people is to transform their mind. So it's transformational ideas, bringing hope to people, because I found God in the process of my own experience. And in finding God, I found out that there is hope for every situation. So regardless of any situation that you are, whether it's a medical situation, you are going through a bad report, disease, or you're just feeling distressed from your vision or from unaccomplishing your vision or your dreams, what I'm able to do is that I come to you because I'm a faith-based motivational speaker, preacher, teacher, coach, and I come to you with life truths from my experience. Somehow, I don't know how this happened, but in my 49 years on earth, I have a combined experience of having gone through a little bit of so many rough waters that I have the experience of a 70-year-old man who has seen life from opposite direction. And in the process, I'm able to expand that experience to others who are going through pain and suffering. You know, Mary Angelo said, it's not what you tell people that they remember, it's not what you give or you do to them that they remember, it's how you make them feel. So I want to make people feel good about themselves, about the situation that they find themselves, or whatever that they are going through. A lot of people are suffering in this world. People are sick. Some people are depressed from either personal situations or unfulfilled ambitions or unfulfilled dreams. So one of the things that I do is to come up with hope. I'm a preacher and a messenger of hope, that in every situation, there is a good in it. In every situation, you will overcome if you trust God, if you believe God, and if you present yourself that you before God that you really need that help. And I do that based on the word of God.
Amazing. With God, anything is possible and nothing is impossible. Coach Garrick, we have a question for you coming up on our screens. And this is not the question that we have. We've got a question for time. We want to ask Coach Garrick about time. Coach, we have a specific question that I think you will be best suited for this one. It's in the world we live in today, what is more important, money or time? Is time more precious and valuable resource in our lives? So is it time? Is it money? Coach Garrick, which one?
Time. You see, I always say that if you lose money, you can get it back. And I had that experience. I've lost money many times. I've built wealth many times, and I've lost the wealth, and I've come back building again. Now, what I've never been able to recover is time. I've never been able to recover lost time, whether in building better relationship. You know, my mother just passed on, and she passed on, and I was not able to see her. I saw her last on my birthday 1 year ago, same time, this time 1 year ago on my birthday, September. Just past immediate September, I saw her, and I couldn't redeem the time that I lost that I could to see her before she passed on just 2 weeks ago. However, that is also common with a lot of people. When you lose money, you can work it back, you can have a better job, your business can improve, so the money comes back. But when you lose time, for example, there are people, parents who are losing time with their children. They are so busy with work, they are so busy with chasing money, they're so busy with their ambition that they don't have time to look back to their children, to build a relationship with the children. This is even more important with the fathers. You know, some fathers are busy just there working out and not building any relationship with the children, so they are losing time. And so the children they're going to realize that in 20 years, when the children are up from school and they're in university, they have no relationship with these children. They've paid the school fees, they've done everything they should do as a parent, but they don't have a personal relationship with these children. So time is of the essence, because when you are in good control of your time, when you prioritize your time and you do the right thing with your time, the value is immeasurable, because the value will come both in the terms of productivity and in the terms of value to your life and to your future.
That was A superb way of answering her question. Thank you so much, Coach Garrick, a public presenter, a motivational and inspirational speaker, and a life coach. And he said, time is more important than money because you can always make back the money, but you can't make back the time. Coach, thank you so much. Coach, we will be back with you again shortly. We are going to now welcome back Dr. Alyssa White, the President and the CEO of Fulfillment Empowerment Network, LLC. Dr. White, we have some questions for you from our audience and viewers. And the first question is as follows. Seke from Sound Mind, Kola Adene says, how do you minimize distractions during the workday? Don't look at Facebook, don't look at Twitter, don't look at WhatsApp. Dr. White, what is a more structured way of minimizing distractions during the workday?
So in the practice, that's a really great question. And, in the practice of effective time management, there's something to understand. And I feel like my colleagues here has emphasized that we don't have time in the past, we have time in the present. But there's some major things that you want to do, and I am in the practice of it, is I have a plan for my week. I have my calendar is always spread out. It's also on my phone. So you always have to stay in awareness of what you're intending to accomplish that day in work, in your personal life. And for me, I like to have events on a calendar because my duties are extended. Once you have that, you have to stick to your schedule. If you're not sticking to your schedule, then you wouldn't have that time that Coach Mimi talked about to do the other important things, because life, again, like Coach Ty said, it's not about the money. A lot of us value, I challenged some of my viewers a few days ago to define success for themselves, because whatever that looks like, that's how you're going to either intentionally or unintentionally pursue life and move along. So if you're measuring how to effectively manage your time, I've got a lot of tips to give you. We're not going to get into that, but schedule yourself and be disciplined. That's where that self-discipline comes in, to follow with that schedule. And I like to say, like, for sometimes you can get into those sidebar conversations at work where you might be called into a meeting, or someone might step in your office. The best thing to do is to stay focused on why they're there, because that's not on your schedule, right? But you want to still be present. I believe time is important to understand that we only have the present, like Coach Mimi said, but be a good steward of how you distribute your time, and you will get better results. And there's always a way to tweak that. And of course, again, there's so many more tips. I believe I will come under the comment, post some more tips of how you can manage your time during the workday. But I think it's you just being mindful of your own time, not be in a fear, conflicting, painful way, but just being mindful of your time and managing it properly in terms of what you're going to do and how you're going to spend time doing it.
Amazing. Thank you, Dr. Alyssa White, the President and the CEO of Fulfillment Empowerment Network, LLC. We've got one more question for you to zip through, and it comes up now for you. Melissa says, what are the red flags of terrible time management?
I believe it's that feeling at the end of the day, like, or sometimes at the beginning of the day, you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I can do it today. And that's just a repeated program you're on. At the beginning of the day, you have dread. At the end of the day, you have dread. That's the first sign that you're not managing your time effectively. You know, some of us, I remember, I say I'm a recovering yes, sir, because we say yes and overcommit ourselves to so many things that there's no way you can come up with the best process to manage your time, but you only have 24. So terrible time management really starts with when you're overwhelming yourself with responsibilities. You have to be able, again, like I said earlier, connect your activities, your goals in a smart way that is aligned with what truly rings what you're passionate about, what your purpose is. And once you're on that track, you're not saying yes to everything that comes your way. I mean, if I say yes to every podcast, every TV show, I would never be coaching clients, right? Or I'll just be a terrible coach because I won't be present with them because I'm thinking about the next thing. So that's the sign that you're not managing your time properly, is when you just have dread throughout the day. At the end of the day, you're just like overwhelmed. So that's, I think, is the most effective way to measure whether or not you're doing well with time or not.
That's absolutely true. I was having a conversation with my sister yesterday, and we were talking about a couple of engagements I was invited to this coming Saturday. And she proceeded to ask me the question, but have you thought about what time they are? You might be able to fit them in because there were amazing opportunities. And I was saying, to be realistic, no. Because lately I've been canceling or apologizing for not attending many events. And it has come to the time where I'm now saying, I have really apologized, but I cannot make it. And as hard as it is, I think time management is about knowing that sometimes you're going to have to say the no. I apologize, no. Yeah, thank you. Dr. White, thank you. And Dr. White, can you please share with our viewers how you support through your coaching and mentoring program and what you have to offer to our viewers?
So as a coach, my focus, my coaching programs of itself and my packages are arranged for strict women. I coach women, young women through adult women. And I'm always, like I said, the women I specialize with are women in transition. And as we know, women are such a key part of our society. Through the ages of time, we have always been the glue that holds things together, right? And so we find ourselves going from either being a stay-at-home mom to having to find work, even after divorce. My own personal story and my journey in life is what has propelled me to coach and coaching this specific area of women in transition, because I found myself coming from being married for so many years into being single, and that has so many nuances that are attached to it. And why I always tell my women to, get therapy. We come out of therapy and then we still find ourselves not sure about where we want to go and the goals that we want to achieve. We're stuck there. And so I specialize with those women who are transitioning from college, from high school into college, from being married to being single, from being a mom that now has children in college, and executive women. So we're focused on, first of all, one of my programs is called Breakthrough Purpose Coaching, and that is a combination of working through forgiveness blocks and then moving into your purpose and then into leadership, self-leadership first. And then if you're an executive level, how to manage your teams, how to delegate, how to communicate. So my program is customized around that woman that's in transition in her life. And it's most exciting. Also, I have a variety. Because coaching can become so expensive for many people, I've created a Fulfillment Empowerment Network Academy, where individuals from across the world at any time, whether it's on mobile or it's on their laptops or wherever they are, they're able to log into a coaching course where I will guide you through step by step with a lot of the subject areas that I coach on. And then you can decide if you're able to make that investment into coaching with me. But I just knew when I was going through divorce, particularly, I had a lot of things. My parents divorced when I was young and there were challenges there. But when I hit that spot where I was 35 and divorced and now single, even though I was so well trained and I knew a lot of things, I was just confused and a mess, questioning everything in my life. And that's where my passion comes from, is to really see individuals win, because I was able to win because I was able to shift so many mindset blocks over and over my life. But I had to create my own toolbox, and I didn't have as much money to get all the various types of coaching. So I really wanted to make coaching accessible and affordable for individuals. And that's where Fulfillment Empowerment Network Academy came, to start you off as you probably save to get a coaching package or start working with someone else. You just have that opportunity to take a course and have tools to build your own toolbox for yourself.
Fantastic. And today, to someone that emails you or contacts you via your pages, you're offering a free gift. Please
Yes.
show us what the free gift is.
Absolutely. So I have two free gifts. One is 21 days to creating a positive success mindset. And then the other one is 5 ways to get a kickstart on your transformational journey of living your purpose. And so also I have the course available. So if you reach out to me via email or any of my platform, I will get that over to you so you can start off your journey. I'm always giving people tools for free so that they can get a push start. That's what it's about, is really inspiring and transforming people's lives. And I get to be a part of that.
Amazing. Thank you so very much for joining us on the Extraordinary Achievers Show. We truly appreciate you. We are going to go over to Coach Mimi Bland. And Coach Mimi, we are going to ask you some questions from our viewers. And the first question that we have is as follows. And as it comes up on our screen, we would like to thank you at home, at work, wherever you are. Thank you for your questions. And thank you for your participation, and thank you for your comments. Heather says, is procrastination one of our downfalls on time management? Is procrastination one of our downfalls on time management?
I think procrastination is our downfalls in life, because I think, as Alicia was saying, if you don't know your why, if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing and where you're going, if you don't have a vision, a mission, or passion in life, you're always procrastinating. But if you know what you want in life, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, then you have a reason to get up every single day. So then you tie in self-discipline with that mission, then life becomes a joy. It becomes a dance. You can't wait to wake up every day, because you've got something that you're trying to fulfill. You've got something that's not just for you, but when it becomes part of helping other people, then you're helping yourself, helping a wider, you're making an impact in the world. And that really fires you up. So, you don't need so much self-discipline then, because you have a reason, you've got a drive, So I think the procrastination then leaves when you've got a goal in place that's really big. It's an audacious goal that you really want to serve and make an impact in people's lives. So I think that's really important.
Thank you, Coach Mimi. And we have another question, again, that we are going to pose out to you. So the answer they had was that procrastination is not a good thing. And Bangi says, does time reduce stress? Or do we stay up all night worrying about what tomorrow will bring?
I think that's a really important question, because I think it's not about time. It's about self-management, because I don't actually do time management. I do life management, because when the only reason you stay up worrying all night, because you are projecting into the future. And when you project into the future, you're always thinking of worst case scenarios. So then that fills you with anxiety and depression, because you are thinking about what could be rather than what is. And we're always thinking, as I said in the past, and we reference everything from our past experiences. So when we learn to stay present, when we learn to breathe, when we learn to awareness, we can stay in the now. We can stay in this moment where all our power is. And then we create the vision of what we want in our life. And then it just eliminates all that stress. It eliminates all that depression, because we're not projecting all our fears. Because 90% of the time we're living in fear, because it's ourselves. That the reason we do that is because we're trying to protect ourselves from getting hurt. So we project these fears into the future, because we're trying to keep ourselves safe. But then we're sabotaging the very happiness, the love, the happiness, the joy, the wealth, the success that we actually want to attain. So we're working against ourselves continuously.
Thank you, Coach Mimi Bland. Coach Mimi Bland, what can you offer us? What's there? If we come to you, how can you change our lives?
So for me, I specialize in self-mastery. I'm very passionate about teaching people the skills of self-mastery. And what is self-mastery? Self-mastery is learning how to control your mind and your thoughts so they're in alignment with what you desire and what you choose, the life that you want to live. Otherwise, we're always being dictated by external conditions, past situations. So, I like to teach people to recreate themselves as well, so that we let go of the old identity, the old identity that has those beliefs, those thoughts, those emotions that are stuck to the past situations, and recreate yourself in the image and the likeness of who you want to be. So if you want to attain love, if you want to be happy, if you want to attain wealth, whatever it is, you have to create the version of yourself that thinks a certain way, that feels that certain way, and develop those characteristics that take you towards achieving that. For me, my biggest goal is to consciously awaken humanity. I think we're all so programmed by society with our limitations, what we've been taught to believe about ourselves, and it's all a load of rubbish. So it's about letting go of all the beliefs, all the false beliefs that you have basically acknowledged and accepted as your own, and then really learn about who you are, your gifts, your skills, and really align yourself with the mission, the vision, and the passion of where you're going in life. So then you can attain the life that you want, because, like, as I said, we only have one life to experience. So stop living a life that you hate and start creating the life that you actually were born here to create, because we're powerful creators. That's why we were born. And we're constantly living a life that we don't want to live. We're living it for other people rather than living it for ourselves. So I'm very passionate about helping people to live their true life.
Thank you, Coach Amy Bland. Coach Amy Bland, start living the life that you have been created for, your life, not anybody else's, but live your life to the fullest. And we are going to once again have your website come up on our screens, Coach Amy Bland, so that our viewers at home can see that. www.amimibland.london. And if you would like to contact Coach Amy Bland, please do look up our website, and it will take you through to all our other pages, such as her Instagram page, which is going to come up on our screen, and also one other, which is her LinkedIn, that will come up. But she has many more contacts. And in the comment section of this program, you will also see Coach Mimi Bland's contact details. Coach Mimi Bland, do not go away. We will be back to say our last thank yous to you. We are swiftly going to read some comments very quickly, and then we are going to touch base with Coach Taia Garrett next, and as we ask him about Hilltop Evangelical Center, HEC. Let's see some comments that have been coming up. Melissa says, my favorite saying is, you only live once in a time. Make that count whilst you can and have no regrets. Absolutely. And I was saying that to someone that we leave every day. Heather says, thank you, Coach Mimi Bland. Time is free, but it's priceless. You cannot own it, but you can use it. Podcaster Norma says, one has to be careful how much time you spend looking back at your past, as this is what holds so many people back instead of moving on. Dr. Nataka Sampson says, whenever I tune into your show, I'm amazed by the intelligence, experience, and skills of your guests. Blessings and love you, Doc. And Vicky Gavi says, we will always learn something new with your show. And thank you for being part of this Extraordinary Achievers show. We appreciate you, Vicky. TLIB Bestie, oh dear, missed a lot of this. Good evening. There is replay on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. The links everywhere. You can watch it on replay. Melissa says, amazing response, Coach Alyssa, super valid and relatable. Vicky Gavi says, no time like the present. Absolutely. I&B Cook says, time management is key to success in life. And Heather says, Amazing response, Coach Mimi. Thank you. Heather says, Coach Mimi Bland, Coach Taya Garrett, and Dr. Alison Schwartz-White, thank you for your wisdom and sharing great insights. And thank you for acknowledging all our guests. Mr. Bamikoli Roberts says, time is the most valuable coin in our lives. You and only you alone will determine how that coin will be spent. Be careful that you do not let other people spend it for you. Words of wisdom. Ryan says, Mimi's share was incredible, and thank you. Alisa puts her website up for the free gifts, and we are going to have her back on as well so that we can share her details through. But before we go to Dr. White, we're going to have Coach Taya Garrick. Coach Taya Garrick leads the Hilltop Evangelical Center, HEC, a non-denominational platform where he reaches out to the brokenhearted. His vision is to spend the remainder of his life helping the needy and those who are lost in rediscovering themselves and undergoing a personal transformation. Coach Garrick, how do you intend to do this, and how do you intend to make your vision a reality? How are you going to help others to rediscover themselves?
Well, thank you very much. It's through transformational mind building. And you see, with the Hilltop Evangelical Center, it came to me as a vision from God Almighty. It came as a result of my own sufferings and pain. It came after my own desert experience in life. Times when I felt depressed, times when I felt I was going to die, times when I felt nothing good was going to happen to me again, times when I felt abandoned, times when I felt as if God has even turned his back on me. But however, I saw God in my moment of distress. I saw God lift me in my moment of pain. I have the good encounter with God where he has taken me from the place where I thought I was going to die, to a place of victory and a place of a future in him, and a future to be able to live out my vision. So I bring that same hope to people by building their mind, by cultivating the right spirit within them. You know, the scripture says that there is a spirit in man, the breath of the Almighty. You know, it gives them understanding. So I know that a lot of people are suffering because they don't have understanding of the word of God. They don't have understanding of the promise of God. They don't have understanding of the promise of truth. So I share that vision with them, with my own life transformational story. You know, a story is better told by someone who has lived them. You can't share pain with someone when you've not suffered pain. You can't comfort someone with loss when you've not gone through loss yourself. I've lost great businesses. I've lost great enterprise. I've lost huge money. I've lost great investment. And I've lost a great part of my health at a point in time, and I had to fight and regain my health back. So when I'm speaking in life, I'm not speaking from a position of comfort or a position of something that I read in the Bible or I just picked from the street or from a textbook. I'm speaking from a position of experience, lifetime experience of having gone through pain and having gone through the process of transformation through that pain, and be able to see results that comes from a process of defeat to a process of victory. And that is what keeps me alive, push my vision, and I spread the message all over the world. I use all various forms of social media to push my message, and I engage people who are brokenhearted, people who are suffering, people who need hope, who need help, and that is my vision for the rest of my life, to help people who are desperately in need of God, or in this need of a hope or a reason to be alive for one more day. Because that happened to me. I remember in 2003, I was asking God in December, please let me live one more day. I remember on Christmas night 2003, asking God to live till Christmas Day, and like that. So I know that people who need just one more chance to make things right. And I believe that with the proper talking, we can get them to make things right.
I love that so much, because what you said was that with your own testimony of your life, you were able to change other people's life, because you are a living example of just how much God has made a difference in you and for you, and how he has answered your prayers, and here you live. I always say that it's so good to hear when someone talks about this is what God has done for me. So this is why I believe. So we thank you so much for sharing, and we thank you so much for being on the Extraordinary Achievers show. Thank you. We are going to come back to you again, Coach Garrett. We are going to welcome Dr. Alyssa White. And Dr. Alyssa White's personal mission is to help individuals overcome self-limiting beliefs, discover their purpose, improve their relationships, and lead a life of fulfillment. Coming up on our screens is your information. Okay, but we are also going to put through Dr. Alyssa White's information that we've been putting through all the time she was on our program. And as you can see, she's a president, and also to see her website, alysawhite.com. And you can also see her other email address, info@alysawhite.com. So if you want to be able to take advantage of those free gifts, her website has come up and her email address has also come up. And Dr. Alyssa is also available on most social media platforms. If you go to a website, you will be able to connect all her other platforms too. Doctor, thank you so very much. Now, as you all know, that I love talking, and there's never a program that's going to come out without me having my 2 pence to say. So first of all, I would like to thank you from whatever platform you've been watching us from tonight. I'd like to say thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your contribution. And thank you for your questions. Now, you know, I love reading. And I was reading something from Forbes that stuck in my head. And he says, if you're looking to take control of your habits and choices, and that sounds like something we need to do. So we're rejigging this about, but we're going to talk about the 9 most powerful ways that you can master self-discipline, which are imperative for life beyond our comfort zones, and maybe even redefining us as extraordinary. So I love the word extraordinary achievers, because I believe each and every one of us are extraordinary achievers, because we can do extraordinary things through Him that created us for a purpose. Step 1, know your strengths and your weaknesses. Self-awareness is a powerful tool for comfort zone expansion, but it requires constant focus and acknowledging your shortcomings, whatever they may be. Step 2, remove temptations. There's a quotation by Oscar Wilde that says, I can resist anything except temptation. So the fewer distractions you have, the more focused you will be on accomplishing your goals. Set yourself up for success by ditching bad influences. Step 3, set clear goals and have an execution plan. If you hope to achieve greater degrees of self-discipline, you must have a clear vision of what you hope to accomplish, just like any goal. You must also have an understanding of what success means to you. After all, if you don't know where you're going, it's easy to lose your way or to get sidetracked. Remember to prioritize. Step 4, practice daily diligence. We weren't born with self-discipline, and none of us were born with self-discipline. It's a learned behavior. And just like any other skill you want to master, it requires daily practice and a repetition. It must become habitual. Step 5, create new habits and rituals. Acquiring self-discipline and working to instill a new habit can feel daunting at first, especially if you focus on the entire task at hand. To avoid feeling intimidated, keep it simple. Break your goal into small, doable steps. Remember the saying, eat the elephant 1 bit at a time. Can't swallow the whole elephant. Step 6, change your perception about willpower. When we embrace the mindset of unlimited willpower, we continue to grow, achieve more, and develop mental toughness. Step 7, give yourself a backup plan. Psychologists use a technique to boost willpower called implementation intention. That's when you give yourself a plan to deal with a potential difficult situation you know you are likely to face. So to be clear, we are not talking about something completely new here that you're going to start again when you go for plan B. We're talking about referring back to what you were doing and seeing how you can do it better and how you can change it. Step 8, find trusted coaches or mentors. Coach Mimi, you heard from her. Coach Garrick, you heard from him. Dr. White, you heard from her. Use their resources. The development of expertise requires coaches who are capable of giving constructive, even sometimes painful feedback. Coaches also identify aspects of your performance that will need to be improved at your next level of skill and aid you in preparation. Step 9 and our final step for today. Forgive yourself. You heard the coaches say that, and move forward. Even with all our best intentions and well-laid plans, we sometimes fall short. It happens. These days, when something happens, I don't moan about it anymore. I say, well, it happened. Nothing we can do about it. It happened, but what did I learn from it? And where did I go wrong? And how can I be better with myself? You will have ups and downs, great successes and dismissal failures, and dismal failures. The key is to keep going, learn from your mistakes, and learn to forgive yourself. Then go back, head back to the game, and start all over again. Next week, guess what we're talking about? We are talking about grief. We are going to be talking about loss. We're going to be talking about divorce, and we are going to be talking about separation. We will be encouraging others on coping with drastic changes in their lives. This comes to the point where we talk about, please do join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We would like to bring back our coaches and the doctor back onto our screens to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Coach Mimi Blunt, thank you so very much for joining us on the Extraordinary Achievers Show. Thank you for taking time out of your so busy schedule. I was listening to your voice yesterday and you said, okay, now it's Clubhouse. So Coach Mimi Blunt is also on Clubhouse. And please do go to her website and her social media pages, and all of them will tell you where she'll be at. When is your next Clubhouse?
I run my own room on a Monday, which is called The Answer Is You, and on a Tuesday, Thoughts Become. So that room is created to tell people we're powerful creators, and we can be, do, or have anything we choose, regardless of where you are in your life. So come and join us, and any questions that we can answer and help you to move forward, then, and I'd like to also say, Lady Wynette, anybody that would like a copy of my book, I'll give 5 copies away to the first few people that contact me. So
me,
I straight away. So thank you so much. It's been a privilege being part of it.
Thank you, Coach Mimi Blunt. We appreciate you, and thank you so very much. Thank you. Coach Mimi Blunt is a transformational mindset coach and mentor, and the author of The Answer Is You. We welcome on our screens Dr. Elisa Schwartz-White, the president and the CEO of Fulfillment Empowerment Network LLC. And we would like to say thank you so very much for having us have your time on the Extraordinary Achievers Show in the middle of the working day. You've taken time out to be with us, and we super appreciate you. Let's have your website come up on our screen just one more time, and please do get in touch with Dr. Elise. Please do follow her on all her social media platforms. She is a bundle of information and a house overflowing with it, and she's ever so nice with it too. So thank you so much for joining us on the Extraordinary Achiever Show, Doctor.
And thank you all so much for having me, Lady Wynette. And I can't wait for next week's show. I'm tickled pink about the topic. I'm like, why are you putting me here too? Okay.
Thank you so much.
And everyone have a great evening all across the world, and good day here in the US.
Thank you. Coach Tahir Garrick, a public presenter, a motivational, inspirational speaker, and a life coach. So if I would like to come to your ministry, where do I go? Is it online, or do I have to come in person?
Thank you very much. In person is not yet available. But you could get us on Hilltop Evangelical Center, HEC, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and also on YouTube. Just type Hilltop Evangelical Center, HEC. You can also follow me on at Taye Garrick. You can also see all our programs there. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here today to speak and to say something about what we do.
Thank you, Coach. And we've seen some of the other links that are there. So it's either we're putting your first name, or we're putting your first name and surname, or we're putting Hilltop Evangelical Center, HEC, on the social media platforms, and we will be able to get hold of you. Thank you so very much, Coach. We thank you. We would like to thank you at home, at work, wherever you are. You're watching it live or on a replay. I often say this to others, that don't look at the numbers that you see on the top of the screen. We're using an outside streaming channel, so there are thousands and more of you that are watching at the same time, because we are using an outside streaming channel into the different platforms. All the numbers do not come up on the screen. So we thank you for sharing, we thank you for liking, we thank you for being part of the Extraordinary Achievers Show. And to the Extraordinary Achievers team, I'd like to say thank you so much for assisting me in the background work day after day, and also for being part of the media team. We would like to thank the live media team headed by myself, King Baron Robinson, and we would like to say thank you to the head of showing this program live to you today, Aideen. We'd like to say a job very well done. To Melissa, to Heather, to Vicky, to all the individuals that play a huge part in the background, we would like to say many thanks to you. And of course, each and every one of us is an extraordinary achiever, for we bring awareness and the message to someone that needs it. Until next week at 8 p.m., thank you for your time, and good night from London, and from wherever you are, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. You can now follow us on Facebook and subscribe our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and comment.